Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Full Spectrum TTRPG podcast. My name is Trey.
I am Rungren.
And we're almost at the end of 2023.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of years of us doing this podcast together now.
Yeah.
And, I'm pretty happy with it.
Well, I don't have anything else to do, so.
That's true. You did blow up all the party.
Yeah. But I can fix it.
If it was just a buckler, that would have been fine. They wanted their buckler.
Right.
Indeed.
There it goes.
We've covered a lot of mythology this year.
Quite a bit, yeah.
How many did you say it was?
I counted 26.
Yeah, that's true. That was fun.
Right, yeah.
26. That's a lot.
Oh, we did pretty good. Yeah. That's half a year.
Yeah.
Half a year of stuff. I got, so we recently started playing, you can't cover Japanese without covering yokai.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but we started playing, instead of 5th edition, Way to the Coast. We started playing Pathfinder. Next thing you know, there's like 1,100 people laid off. I had no idea we were so influential.
Yeah, who knew?
All right, we'll get to Japan. I've got my list up here. I promise I go to Japan next because there's something from Japan I want to point out. But I was going to start looking at the list here because one of the nights we did Arthurian mythology, and as far as just putting it into like a Pathfinder or D&D whatever, that almost seems like, I don't know, like a natural one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go through those. So I'm gonna pull this up.
Well, before you dig too deep into this, for people that'll be like, but it's been a year. How did you only cover 26? Don't forget, we also covered a bunch of different TTRPGs at the start of this year. We took a divot into
we did
a bunch of different games, and then came back to cover mythology for all TTRPGs.
Yeah.
You can use what we cover here tonight in Vyson, in Call of Cthulhu, in Vampire.
Yeah, SCPs are really cool. That's really fun.
Yeah, and we did SCPs as well. Which
is fitting, because the myths and stuff we talk about are SCPs for the ancient world in a way.
Yeah.
To go through that. So Arthurian, you've got a... most of the time, it's kind of set for doing that. Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm almost sick, yo.
I think I made us miss a night, too.
Yes, well.
That's not going to happen, just so you know. That would have to be like a 12-hour show.
Oh, I don't want to hang out with him that long. Come on.
We got one more Thursday before the end of the year. That's not happening.
Joe.
we talked a lot about Fate Grand Order this year.
Couldn't help it. Get through that. I don't know.
Not doing that, no. So Arthurian mythology.
All right, so we got a lot of stuff. Very straightforward. This almost seems to go straight over to TTRPGs, right?
Yeah.
I got Arthur, the big guy there.
Yeah.
This story's been redone so many times. Blatantly redone, right?
Oh, yeah.
With the same name, not just borrowing stuff from it, but the same name. Sword in a stone or anvil. Only the true king can pull it out. Little scrawny Arthur does.
Yeah.
Chaos.
And dragon.
Chaos ensues. Yeah. Stuck there by his father, Uther. Now, some of this, if you knew this, with a heart, and you were going to run this as a DM, right? But you don't want to go, okay, somebody in this group will end up pulling the sword from the stone. It's not that you can't have a moment in that. That's not what you want to do. That automatically sets a precedent that maybe not everybody at the table was be happy with.
Yeah. This is the main character now.
Right. So the one dude with the sword, he's like, hey, plot armor.
I'm king of all England now.
So just on that,
no.
Look, you said 12 hours. She's working out 12 hours.
I appreciate that you are now our
curriculum? Is that the word you're like? What are you?
Chronal advisor? Is that?
Oh, is that? I don't know what you're talking about, Trey. Goodness. I'm just going to say, are you having a stroke?
I feel like
That might have just been the idea of Dark running your schedule. That would.
Yeah.
Chromancer. That it is hard to argue against that.
Dark is now a chronomancer.
Right.
Add it to the lore. Will, add it to the lore.
So let's start with that. The basic thing right there.
Yeah.
I want to run knights. I want to run this ancient English crossover.
Magic weaponry.
Welsh, yeah, things like that. So, for a real simple one, just like the idea of what we do with this. I didn't know you could speak like an actor. We have to take the sword out.
Yeah.
Does that get replaced?
I think it does, but I think it's with something that doesn't make one person infinitely better than the others.
Okay, I cheated my campaign.
Yeah.
Everybody got one.
Right.
Right.
I'm thinking a status symbol as compared to
Sure you are.
like a physical weapon. Right?
Yeah. So what?
Add it to the dot. Nice. I'm thinking like you do a crown, but it's a crown. You could either do it kind of like you did, where you take the one item, split it into multiple parts, or you could do it as like hey, this crown makes this person important today, but the party has the will of the king, and every night the crown goes to a different member.
That would be interesting. Another one calling the shots the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of sentience to the crown that stands above.
And that way there's no fighting over it. There can be nobody trying to steal it from anybody else.
There's an old D&D campaign. It's called the Rod of Seven Parts.
Yeah.
All D&D session, you go find all these little parts and you connect the rod and it becomes a super weapon kind of thing.
They did that in Transformers.
Right. I think as a team fight to it over the death, only one person can. I wouldn't do that often. I would do that, but it is. It's my turn to unicorn. There's a number of ways you can do that. And that doesn't change setting or anything at all. So a lot of it would be real easy, like just switching names and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you got Knights of the Round, but the king could have a Knight's Corps of trusted advisors.
Absolutely. You could also still run the sword, but have it bound to an NPC, and just don't let that NPC carry every fight. Don't let that NPC fight most of the time. Have it as like, look, that NPC has to keep the sword from killing everyone around you, so you guys have to fight so the king can stay safe.
Oh, okay. We wouldn't have faith without it. There's also some stuff, and I think if we had the time to really break down all the mythology, all games, we'd find some storylines that kind of parallel on the same. There is some prophecy and Arthurian legend that you could probably play with. You know, make sure you keep it as obscure as possible.
Right.
Going through.
We don't let anybody be Merlin either.
That's a good call. You're probably not either. Yeah. The Merlin-esque, maybe.
That's not a bad way to run that. Like, hey, you're king, but for as long as you wear the crown, your stats are gone. They're dedicated to the crown.
The crown. Yeah, so, that's actually a real good one. Before anybody wears it, throw out there, be wary the weight of the crown.
Yeah.
And then when they put it on their head, thinking this like, yeah, it's a big deal to rule. I understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. I like that way a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know if I'd go to one per se.
Right.
Because that would be unusable, but unless it was just their physical stats.
Right. The mental could stay.
Yeah, much, but you can't give it, if that's work, can't give it away too soon.
Right. There's a couple different ways I think you could play it, of like, hey, once you wear the crown, you have to keep it until it can be placed back upon the throne.
Yeah. I would probably, just personally, I think I would run it like a cursed item.
Yeah.
Like you have to go through some ceremony and sacrifice to get the crown off your head.
Almost like turn A today.
Yeah, yeah. A little bit.
The death of the previous king.
Yeah, yeah. Almost like that. Something goes along there. I think so. I'm all for term limits everywhere.
Cursed crowns and...
Right.
I like it. I like it a lot. I think there's one other thing that I would say needs to be, like, if you're going to run Arthurian, it needs to be, as a DM, you make sure the Lady of the Lake has to be in it. Players can't just throw stuff to her and get it exchanged. It doesn't work like a fairy fountain in Link to the Past.
Okay, yeah.
Throw your sword in there, tell her the truth, you get the golden sword back out, you know?
Yeah. Well, it may not even be that. If you're, it's depending on how deep you want to go, because you can run, let's say you get the characters at the 5th level, they've had options and things to do.
Right.
Through there. So, just by the actions of the character to that point, especially if you get it off, you keep it, like, who's going to get it, who's not, if you're going that route with it,
Yeah.
Because you didn't take the badge, you helped the little lady up and packed it back for her.
Right.
Then
you get this.
Yeah. And it wouldn't be like a major plot point from any of the adventures they'd done before. It would almost, when I went through that, it would almost try to be like just filler for the story, for feeling of the scene. Would
you restrict classes? Bless you.
Thank you.
I think you kind of have to, right? Like, for Arthurian to work, you can't really have a gunslinger running around.
Yeah, I think so. And I think no matter what you pick, I think there's a way to do that.
That's not a bad way to do it either. They had to go find the lake to free themselves of the curse and return the sword.
Right.
It's not a bad way to do it.
Some have even said that lake is not on this plane of existence. But okay, so now I'm gonna throw a twist in there. Okay. So we've got that. We've got some good from this. We're gonna use the Knights of the Round as like a King's Guard.
Yeah.
And we can put good, bad, and ugly in them. Kind of move them around or whatever. We've got a good. I'm going to go with the crown that, turns your stats low.
Yeah.
When you are king, you get to call the shots. You can't go do anything.
Right.
You're trapped through that. There's really other kind of cool things like it. You mentioned Lady of the Lake. And it wouldn't have, you could do simple things like not have the Lady of the Lake, but this is a special dryad that when the tree's a certain way, it comes from this type of tree. And that tree won't always be, in the same place.
I can see a really fun variant of that where it's a hag and a mushroom circle.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
That would work. That fits in. Because all this, we're really, for role playing, what we're using this mythology for is to build something original, right? Even though we're pulling from all the old stuff.
Dark is wanting to run West March. Right. Is what Dark is wanting to run here.
Yes.
I like West March a lot. But West March is hard. Lady Avalon, yeah, you could include the Fae in here really easily.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff to go through there. The Green Knight, he is, the Green Knight. He's gonna neither be, exactly. Yeah, I would. There's no way I would play that straightforward. In fact, that other dimensional lake or whatever, that would be a gateway. It would be possible.
Yeah.
For the players at some point to go to Avalon. Maybe I name it something else, to go to Avalon to look back, whatever.
Well, you got to have the Black Knight. And he loses limbs over the course of the fight.
Right, right. Merely a flesh wound. I probably would, like a Black Knight-esque character. That would be great. And then you're following that. That's a good main villain. If say you're running you plan on running this campaign to 20.
Yeah.
That's a really good 8-12.
Yeah.
8 to 12 like villain, the Black Knight, right? No, he doesn't suffer wound damage.
Right.
You know, he's not going to take any negatives. He cut his arm off.
Still just strong.
Yeah, Lancelot would be another one. I really think I would tone Lancelot down.
Yeah.
But
I got to.
But he's not going to be quite the, like the knight that he's set for. But I think I would kind of model like I don't know if you know how the story goes. This isn't quite right, but just like a good guy.
Yeah.
Like he's going to do everything he can to do the right thing.
Quick aside, in the Arthurian story, Gawain and Gaheris and all them are like level 5 to 6. Lancelot's level 18 when he first shows up. And it's not okay. I just wanted to throw that out there.
You're going to put that out there. he should be a little bit higher level. But the Green Knight, I would base something on that. I would change it up a little bit, and that creature, whatever it ends up being, like it may just end up being a knight with a very unique banner, and being neither good nor bad. But but you have to be very careful while you're speaking to it.
Dark, I love you. Firmly recommend you check out West March, not East March. West March. West March or Greyhawk. They're both that style of big Kingdom RPG. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. We've got that, and now you've got now. Well, I've got my story going on. Dart's got here. It's like, this is setting up. She's even going to where I can set up a civil war here by gum.
Yeah,
through that. As you go along the line with them, have the advisor betray. Yeah, there's a lot you can do to it, and the story's not new for anybody.
And for everybody who's like, you're taking a long time on this, don't worry. We can continue this into next week if we need to keep covering stuff. We're doing fine. I'm having fun.
Like there's prophecy in there, the once and future king, good sayings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just the story. I agree.
Yeah. And it can be, and since you're running in a fantasy world, you're using, Arthurian as a basis. You're not running an Arthurian campaign.
Right.
What you're doing is your basis for what you're going through on. Any of the other characters can be changed, different races, different genders, whatever you want to do, to fill kind of roles that go in there.
I think there's one more wrinkle I would throw in.
Yeah.
And that's, you mentioned prophecy earlier.
Yeah.
I would mention that, like, partway through, whoever's got the crown is king, right? Prophecy gets dropped that, hey, someone is coming to kill the king.
Right.
They will kill the king with his own sword, and it's a weapon from earlier on in the campaign will get retrieved by a Mordred-like character that will come to kill the king. And that would add a wrinkle of like, well, I don't want to be king anymore. Somebody's coming to kill. I don't want to be king anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You haven't railroaded the players in any way. And there's lots of little alleys and valleys down each one of those stories. Exactly. You can get big with it if you wanted to.
For sure.
Calm down. Goodness, what are you trying to run?
And at that point,
that's a 30-year campaign.
Go ahead and add in the Vikings at that point and have them come in as well.
But there's lots of stories and stuff to read. We talked about in the last Battle of King Arthur, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight.
Yeah.
The love triangle makes a story. Maybe it's not as malicious as it is in the thing. Maybe this knight and the queen, well, when they were younger, they were in love, but
we're expanding on Dark's idea now.
Right.
What is the name of the magician from the cartoon? Madam Mim, is that her name?
I'm sorry. Yes, that one, yes.
Absolutely. I know she's not in the original story. I don't care. Absolutely add in a Madam Mim-like character.
Yes. It could be done very easily.
I think she was just a witch, right? But she had become less than human, more than human.
Yeah, but using that as a model to fulfill in a serious, like a dark witch, dark fairy witch, would be really kind of funny.
Be great. And you technically could run that as a hag as well.
Well, also, because like a character like that, See, it just keeps going.
Gurgi!
It just keeps going.
My boy Gurgi.
Just keeps going. I'm about to close. About to close Ethereum.
Look, Gurgi was Gollum, but sympathetic.
If you say so. What was not sympathetic about Gollum? Huh? Do you realize what kind of torture he went through having the ring?
It's really hard to be sympathetic to him, though, when I'm laughing at his funny jokes.
That's true. All right, ad break ends in 17.
A map? 15. Yeah, a map would be a really good one, too, yeah. Ad break for a few more moments.
That's our map, yeah, maps. There was a couple. That was called Merlin, wasn't it? That was the show Merlin.
I think so.
You
gotta have Merlin as an NPC.
Well, I mean, there's so many. That story.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That story, Merlin, author, all that, has been redone so many times.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I wanted to take this and go. Witch Evil Advisor. Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot you can do there for sure.
Yeah, and if I'm doing the Two Kingdoms, I am in a Mirror Kingdom, I am some way fitting there the biblical verse, as above, so below.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just sounds great.
Also, gotta have mounted combat. And it'll still be better than War Steeds.
Like the Mirror King.
Sure.
Yeah. There's 100 different ways you could take that.
Dark, you write down this setting, and I'll compile it into a PDF for you.
I'll do that. She is. See? That's it. Okay. I did want to pull up. I'm going to pull up Japanese.
Okay.
Onto that. And we did talk about yokai. Which that's just going to fill in your campaign anyway. But what I want to talk about here, one thing I was thinking about is more of a... Fair enough. Now I've clicked over to Japan, and this is an urban legend, not so much a myth, but I still think it'd be very intriguing. The slit-mouthed woman.
Yeah,
and I think that's such a good hook. Would be such a hook, even if like that character is very minor, part of a much bigger thing, and they are. And that's why I have no problem counting it in, especially for our purposes, if it's perfectly of storytelling,
Kuchisake Ona.
Pretty much. Yes. Like I said, it's a, which covers yokai as well, because she's a yokai going through, but it's a good setting up. But, okay, so before we go all the way in Japanese, you could throw this in your Arthurian
group,
the one that Dark built, the one that we're building, whatever.
These are the creatures that come from the Fae.
Yeah, the one that are, people just sit there watching, not saying nothing. It's like, I've got a world, thank you.
Yeah.
I built it from this. But yeah, this could easily slide in there on that. Now, look, I'd love to be in a campaign that was very Japanese.
Yeah.
You had an honor roll. Not like you're counting the honor roll, like who got straight A's and stuff.
I'm sure you do.
Cool.
Blades in the Dark has some of that, the honor rolls and things like that, because you can be a samurai in Blades in the Dark, but it's more wuxia style than it is samurai style. Yeah.
Which I probably ripped from that a little bit too.
Yeah.
Right on Dark. But, so I was trying to work this around and saying, okay, for what I want to do tonight, you can't say slit mouth woman. I want to change this up.
Okay.
Let's do that. And maybe it is a female. Now remember, she is said to carry a large pair of scissors and knife and preys on children and young men. So there's something very malicious.
Okay, what about the Slashed?
Okay, but
like have her name the Slashed.
Yeah. Don't Google that.
Like Eddie the Slashed.
Yeah. I got you. So going through that might be bad, something like that. But that kind of falls. Edgy, false on that, but what could be, it couldn't be, instead of going slip mouth woman, you could do something along the lines of no hands, no eyes.
Yeah.
You know, instead of asking, do you think I'm pretty? You
Yeah.
know, she has no eyes and says, do you see what I see?
Yeah.
And, you know, instead of a knife, if you say no, you know, tendrils come out and choke you to death.
Right.
Don't do that. But that's just from urban legend.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've still got notes in here about how many things that has been part of, how many movies and media.
Yeah.
Go through that.
So many options there.
Okay, so yeah. Do you see what I see? No. Okay, I'll kill you. Yes. All right, I'll take your eyes.
Right.
There you go. Okay. So
Yeah,
we've got
I like
that
that.
one
That's a
done.
good way to do that.
All right. So that was one. That's a myth. That's an urban legend.
I was too hung up on the name as compared to the idea. I agree.
I see. No. You need to learn to plagiarize, sir. That's not the way you do it. You're not doing a very good job.
Right.
Or the 8 foot tall woman. You know, there's a few of them there that was already mentioned.
Yeah.
Going through there when somebody's in the bathroom.
You could very easily switch that over to, you know, the giant man and it's 12 foot tall. Or even go the other way, make it use the red caps stat block and have it be the short woman.
Yeah.
You know?
That's just as a unique kind of weird little creature. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. Okay, something else I wanted to do while I had the Japanese open. Now, as I open these, I want to kind of go through all of them. We're going to grab the ones that have some kind of Pantheon or whatever. I want to pick up. And so the first god I've got on here for our Pantheon that we're going to make right now for the world that we're going to be in. We need a storm god, and since we've got Japanese pulled up, it's Susanoo.
Yeah, Susanoo no Migoto.
Yeah, that one too. That one as well.
Love him. He's awesome.
All right, do that.
Loki is not a storm god.
Look, you're biased. I don't want to hear it.
No, I love Susanoo. Susanoo has so many cool divine treasures that you can use as magic items in your campaign.
Yes.
A hammer that he used to play a gong once, a different hammer that he used to play a drum once, the drum itself, the gong itself, his sword, his mirror, his musical instruments. He's got like 4 of them.
There's a lot, is what you're saying.
Yeah, dude's a busy guy.
Right. He's a guide. He's a storm guide. Apparently, I'm going to say loves music.
Yeah. The thunder is him playing his instrument.
Yeah, loves music. Well, we're not going to call him that.
Okay.
I'll go through that. And in fact, I like the idea of like the wild, messy hair.
Yeah.
I want our storm god for our world. I think we have more of a feminine aspect. I like the idea of the instruments. Like probably big, some like deep blowing sounding flute type.
Yeah.
Saxophone type thing, right?
One man band style, she's wearing it all at once.
Steve. Call him Steve.
Do we want the name to still sound Japanese, or are we just making a world separate of that and just taking the ideas?
We're gonna make a few of these. We're gonna kind of take a separate world separate of that, but there are some aspects of it, like a geisha outfit.
Yeah.
But loose and wild, blowing in the wind. I think
gotcha.
would fit. You know, like if you go to the temple,
Right.
where this particular storm god is saying, you know, that might be a picture. You know, her standing in clouds.
Yeah.
You know, So we're looking at Japanese mythology a little bit, and we're trying to build a pantheon, and we come across Susanoo, the god of storms, and we're kind of changing up a little bit. I know it's bad.
It's just this time I know.
Oh yeah.
Normally I'm going, yeah, that sounds good.
Right. Yeah, we talked about that a few different ways, because that's such a sinister thing, right there, to have this strange deformity for it, and to use that, that kind of questioning, that line of questioning, where there's not a safe answer. You're either going to die or have your face slit open. Going through that. So we did talk about ways to do that. But we're looking at the God of Storm in Japan. We're going to make one for our world we're building. I want the God of Storms to be a goddess of storms. I do like, and this God of Storm, like I said, has a lot of magical items. Mm-hmm. We're going to go with instruments, kind of mix them in. She loves music, right?
I got lost down a rabbit trail for a second, trying to figure out if they named Susan Storm because of Susanoo, and that's probably not true.
Yeah, because she has nothing to do with the weather.
Right. But her last name's Storm.
That is true.
What's a good name for this goddess that's not just Susan, because now that's all I'm thinking about.
Right. But I would like keeping like the wild behavior, the wild windblown, like it looks like she's standing in the storm.
What about Alba? Yes, I got there because of Jessica Alba, Susan Storm. Don't think about that part. Just think about the name.
I mean, yes, that is perfectly fine.
Well, that's the thing that's special about Susanoo no Mikoto is his divine treasures are alive. Like they will always find their way back to him eventually.
Yeah.
He loaned the Kusanagi to a man once, and the man was in the middle of a battle with it when it was like, hey, I think he needs me. I'm going to go. Mm-hmm. And it just left.
I would do that too. I think the sentient ancient, and like they would look like instruments humans play, but I would try to build them up to where they're what the trumpets and horns and flutes and things that might be around in this world that the people play are like such poor equivalents quality wise of the sound, the tone they get, everything to the instruments that she has.
Yeah, I agree.
And the local lore, the mythology of the grounds, there's a storm, you've got lightning going and thunder just keeps rumbling and rumbling, and the rain that's like her with a full orchestra. Yeah. Playing the storms, and the mad composer type. Yeah. That look, like she's gonna be standing there with hair just blowing everywhere while looking in her eyes.
I could easily see.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Her followers being out in the storm, dancing in the rain, and having a great time.
I just want you to understand, you and I, same page. All right, I can't help it. I'm trying not to go there. I have already pictured this goddess in my head, and yes, she is beautiful. Going through that. All right, I'm not going to let you... Okay. This is not... Look, I understand that you would like Cardi B to be your storm goddess. That's not the intention I had. I was going off mythology. I'm going through that.
Yeah, we're trying to open another one of these.
That would be hilarious. And the next... God, we got to get you writing for Disney. That's the next step. They need some help.
Colonel.
All right, but can't be. Can't be the storm goddess. We've already got the storm goddess picked out. Yeah. All right. I'm going to pick another one.
Okay.
So we have a storm goddess for our pantheon.
Right.
All right. I need a pen. I need to write
You
this.
got a red one somewhere.
That one's special. It's saved for. Okay. Goddess of storms. Okay. Alba.
Alba. Yeah.
Alba. He's starting. Yeah. That is a warning. The enemy is coming. I shall twerk and save the day.
I think I figured out what your goal is here.
Yeah?
And I'm excited for it, but I'm not going to reveal it to anybody in chat who hasn't figured it out yet.
All right. So we've got storms covered. All right. Let me look up. I'm going to grab another one. Now, this time I don't know. It's going to get us to 24. I think that should be standard.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm going.
I think that is standard if we look at all the different mythologies.
That's fair. That's fair. So,
while you're grabbing another one, though, I did want to mention, we talked about this during the Japanese episode, but if you want to run a campaign in Japan, like with all the different mythological creatures, there's 1,000 different ways to do it. And the easiest ones that jump to my mind are on Myoji trying to exercise yokai and the night parade of the Yakiyagyo of 1,000 demons.
okay.
Sure.
Yes, and women knew their place. The good old days. No.
Twitter.
I'm saying there were some things that were good, some things bad. If you have a problem with anything I say, remember you can always email Trey at the Full Spectrum.
Full Spectrum Podcast at gmail.com.
All right, fine. Okay.
We did lose 2 viewers when you said that.
Gone through. So yeah. So I went Japanese, which I have as Nippon in my notes.
Yeah, Nihon.
Because I want to be clever. And it's small things like that make me feel smart. So I'm just going to go next one because we no longer need a Thor.
Right, we've got one.
Yeah, so I'm going to go over to Norse.
Okay.
Now, as much as it will hurt, we'll call it clever. Thank you. It will. So, I don't want to use Thor in this.
Right.
He's got a thunder, not necessarily storms, but he works a storm god. Loki, I know you still need a Loki, but I don't want to take Loki.
Right.
For
We're trying to mix and match.
But there's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, if I needed a god of mischief, I'd go to somewhere we haven't gone yet. Because I would take an honesty.
Yeah, and if we couldn't get him, I'd go Jackal.
Yeah.
Those are the two big ones that jump out at
me. We do have Name Maker. We'll move forward to that one. That'd be interesting. Well, yeah, but I watched that on TV. That's two good. That's two good lifts from Norse mythology for a couple of characters to reskin. Yep. For a background for a world that you're building.
I don't know who you've picked for us to take here, but there's a part of me. It won't work in the Pantheon, but there's a part of me that hopes it's Mimir.
Well, I think it will.
Because Daughter of Hell. Mimir would be like the perfect, not inversion, but subversion of just like the Gandalf of, hey, here's this giant that is super wise. He's not a great fighter. He's not going to be able to help you. But most of the time when you think of like wise old man on the mountain giving you advice, they're not capable physical fighters comparatively, right?
Yeah.
But, hey, this guy's a giant. But he's also still not as good as most of them.
Does there need to be a god of knowledge or god of wisdom?
I think we could do that, yeah.
And you want to use Mimir?
But I wanted to have Gandalf's beard.
With Gandalf, a long bearded Mimir.
Because Gandalf's beard is what all of them should have.
Okay.
It is incredible. I love that beard.
So what's his name? God of...
Oh, yeah, no, he's got to be built. And he's just so wise he refuses to fight. It's like, no, I could crush you in a moment. Okay.
Knowledge and wisdom. That's what I'm going to do. The God of knowledge and wisdom.
Are you going to get mad at me if I say Grond?
No.
Because it's a great name to steal.
Sure, we can go with that. The battering ram from the Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
We can go with that. That's fine. So Grond, the god of knowledge and wisdom, a giant stacked figure that muscles so big he can't. He has to sit there and read.
Yeah. And every turn of the book is like of the page is so he doesn't shred the book.
Right, it causes him pain, but he's read everything. Maybe that whoever we put at the top of this, if there's 1, 2, king, queen, king and queen, I don't know, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe there's some reason, he got cocky and he's like, no. Oh, you want to be a big strong guy, huh?
Yeah.
I'll show you your messes. Going through that.
I love him already. He's my favorite.
All right. Mimir with Gandalf's beard.
I'm just imagining like Master Roshi from Dragon Ball, all buff.
Oh yeah, like if we got to play in the movie, it'd be like, no, I just need you to sit there and shut up and pretend you're reading. Go get somebody from Mr. Universe and stick a big beard on it.
Yeah.
Make sure you film him down here to make him look giant.
Yeah.
You want to do the thing.
Brody with Roshi's head. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
All right, now that we got the God of Knowledge.
Broly, it is. I knew what you meant, though.
Yeah, all right. Bring it out. There's a couple of others, but I do, in the lore of this world, do we need to grab Yggdrasil from here?
Yeah, I think we need a world tree.
I'm going to go with World Tree.
I think World Tree it's so pervasive throughout all of fiction.
Okay, is this a Norse World Tree where out on the branches is where different realms are? Or is this more like Kikuyu, where it's like the base of like each level of the tree is a plane of existence?
I think we go the Kikuyu.
Intellect or something.
But I think we could, as Dark brought up here, where it needs to be in water or something like that, I think we could change it a little bit so it's not just a tree. Because, like, the Kikuyu had the baobab tree, right?
Right.
Where it's not just the regular tree, that it's a huge base tree.
It is. It's a weird-looking tree.
Right.
It is.
I'm thinking instead of going a tree, we go a mountain. And each level of the mountain going up is a different realm. And this mountain was the first ground to ever be moved. And it grew as time passed.
Then parts would break off maybe and go out throughout this is the universal mountain.
Yeah.
The roots of the mountain hold the underworld. That's where the dead sleep, however you want to play that, right? So humanity goes up and down the side of the mountain. Yeah. And this thing, and of course there's the peaks, which will be the other thing. I can do that. I like that. Is there a name of this mountain?
You're not going to like the first one that came to my mind. Because the first one that came to my mind was taking another Lord of the Rings name and twisting it.
That's fine. That's fine. Your last name you gave me was much better than Alba.
That's true. How do you feel about Mount Telebrimbor?
Mount Celebrimbor or
Telebrimbor.
Telebrimbor, okay.
There could still be trees of life on the mountain. You know?
Yeah. And there's no doubt that you could use that tree idea that you come up with there as kind of an origin story for your world.
What if our different gods had different responsibilities of the mountain and different things they grew on the mountain? So you had like life came from the god of or goddess, whatever we choose, of life, you know, that brought forth the people and some of the animals. But then you also have like, hey, yeah, here's your bad guy. Here's your Hades equivalent. Right?
Oh yeah, it wasn't original with them either.
And he went down into the heart of the mountain and carved out his place there, you know.
Yeah. Some of the tales of the gods and everything will take place. They take place on a mountain.
Yeah.
I got you. So what's the world tree's name again?
Telebrimbor.
I'm sorry, not the world tree. The world mountain.
Yes. The heart of the world.
Mountain.
And then you call the top of the mountain the spine of the world. I stole that.
Excellent. Yeah, very well aware. And there's a heart of the mountain, and there's a spine of the mountain. I don't know if it gets any other body parts, but I think that may come later.
Probably.
This is the pancreas of the mountain.
Yeah. That's the stomach over there. That's where the dragons live.
All right. Look at that. Okay. So I'm letting you steal from Norris right now. All right. So let me pull.
Oh, and as parts fell off the mountain, Great Plains, as the huge parts fell off, they created the Great Plains, and we could even have a goddess that cries from the top of it at the loss of her love or something, or a guy that, you know, a tale of two lovers that cry for each other, and their tears came down to form the rivers, and you know, we have so many mythologies that have that.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I'm jumping ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
You got me excited.
I got you. I understand. I'm still trying to decide which one I'm gonna open next.
I'm just glad I learned how to contain my excitement to stop yelling in your house.
All right. Let's put that back here to the Aztec. Open up the Aztec.
You mean the Adescans?
Right. Going through there. Look, we're doing exactly what Tamina did.
Yep.
Man, I shouldn't have picked Aztecs. I'm terrible with any other language, and there's some names.
I think there's like 4 that have to be up for consideration, as far as I'm concerned. Huitzilopochtli.
Yeah, that's the god of wind. I don't think we fall in. However,
Quetzalcoatl.
Tonatiuh.
Yeah, Tonatiuh's not a bad choice, especially Korean. Yeah, we're gonna get some good stuff there too.
Yeah. All right.
The crazy fighting god. That's not a bad choice.
So from the Aztecs, Tonatiuh, the sun god, right, is depicted as a warrior with a headdress made of eagle feathers.
I do love sun god. I kind of combined god and goddess there on accident, but
that's fine. Okay.
I do love sun gods.
Okay. So instead of being a warrior,
a poet, maybe?
Possibly. A poet might not be good.
Or a healer?
Well,
cauterize the wound.
Burn it. Hold on. So I'm kind of liking this. This is our sun god. Okay.
Okay.
I know. Though you went goddess a while ago.
Right.
Like the idea, once again, of a goddess for this. And I do like the idea. Now, in Aztec, the sun god was depicted as a warrior with a headdress.
Yeah.
A lot of eagle's feathers in it. But, what was that?
For fighting's sake, enjoying sacrifices because it comes from fights.
Oh, fair enough. Sun goddess. I do like the idea of feathers, but I think all different feathers.
Yeah.
All over.
What if this sun goddess used to be a bird?
Flew up to the sky and exploded.
Flew up to the sky and became a goddess.
Yeah. And look, there's so many, though, that she would put any rainbow you see to shame, right? Just all the different colors. In fact, it definitely, they shine bright with so many colors. When the light hits it just right, it's so bright, it's like, it just becomes white, blinding light.
She was the Chilen, the vermilion bird, the only bird that existed, and grieved for being alone.
Yeah.
Flew to the sky, to the sun, to tell the gods there needed to be more birds. Became a goddess herself and created them herself.
Okay. Going through. I don't know. I like the scorched look, but that gives me the idea of like, yeah, and there is a smell of burning when you're in her presence.
Yeah.
And it's the feathers don't burn, but there's smoke that just comes out through like her robes, like she's covered in feathers.
Yeah.
Right? And smoke just kind of comes out, so she's always covered by that.
And that covers our Phoenix tie-in as well.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, she flew into the sun and then rose from the ashes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every night she dies.
Yeah.
And every morning she's reborn.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now she no longer flies alone in the night sky.
Sun goes. Bird.
Or in the dawn sky, I guess.
Feathers. She was first bird and only first bird.
Yeah.
Flew to sun. Dies each day and wakes in the morning. It was Yeah,
I really like that. She looks evil, maybe kind of is, but she's also super bubbly and friendly.
Yeah, I
she's
think
not
so.
alone anymore, you know?
Well, it's not like that, but the sun will kill you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, there's places on this earth, if all of a sudden you find yourself there and there's no food and water, right, you're dead.
Yeah.
It's going to take a little bit, but you're dead. You know? So the sun will, so there is some, that's because
She won't kill you out of malice either. It's just...
Well, if I was going to go that route, I think I would be like there's a moon cycle on this, and actually in the moon cycle with that, there's an eclipse cycle that's a lot shorter than ours is on Earth.
Right.
Once a year, once every 2 years or something like that. There has to be maybe there are some cultures where it's like, no, during this night we have a human sacrifice. We sacrifice the innocent, even, you know, can't be a criminal
right.
who's in jail or something like that. It has to be somebody that doesn't deserve a sacrifice because on the eclipse, right,
to bring her back.
So there is almost that. Well, yeah, that's malevolent as hell, but what can you do?
Right.
You know that we need the sun. Mm-hmm. Everybody else would die if they didn't do this. Let's do that.
We are also going to need a moon god. That's very true.
Yeah, we're going to get a moon god or goddess. I like the idea of them being siblings.
Yeah.
There are some others there are some siblings, some are lovers. They go back and forth. In one case, almost both. But siblings that do not get along. And I would probably put it in their personality too. Like, even though, a hug from the sun will kill you, she is very, it happens. It does. If your particular human line has made it this far in history, you probably have some back there too anyway. It's just, so let me, you know what? We don't get to use this one.
Didn't think I'd be reading that tonight, but here we are. I do have an idea for a name.
Okay, hold on. Let me write it down. So we're gonna get the moon goddess.
This is the sun goddess first.
Oh, for the sun goddess, yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking Sparna.
What are you gonna do? Stand outside and pour it up at noon and be like, "This is Sparna."
Well, no, because Sparna can, like, spar can mean to fight, as, you know, pointing out here. But it can also mean to raise. And so she brings the sun with her. She raises from the ashes every night. You know?
Okay. You know, apparently, according to him, or the moon's got to be like Meleina or something. I don't know.
Look, Melena's not a bad name for the moon god.
Going through that. But we got one. We got Mona. I'm going to go with Mona.
Mona's not bad either.
But we're going to have to switch around somebody else. So
yeah, we got to pull up a different mythology.
I'm going to grab another mythology for the moon. Let's see what Egypt has for the moon.
Okay.
Got his home, got wisdom, got this guy.
Rise the sun.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who the moon goddess is for Egypt.
It's got some morning. Did I not? Got a lot of stuff about the sun. Ah, Khonshu. Duh.
Yeah, of course.
Duh. Our theme, Moon Knight. Never mind, that one's taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah, Khonshu. Well, in a lot of mythologies where the sun is a phoenix, the moon is an owl, right?
It could be.
But you could also go Blizzardy, which is, you don't see that in very much mythology, but it does come up in a few, where it's the ice bird, as comparatively. I think the only thing like pop fiction it's come up in is Sinbad, where they fought a Blizzardy, but
Okay, hold on. Let me put this together.
It's a dumb name for it. I'm not even gonna try and say it's not. When you got like Phoenix, and then you have Blizzardy, and then you have Zapbird. Look,
are these Pokemon, or what are you?
Unfortunately, they should be. Articuno is the name of the Pokemon, which is a better name than Blizzardy. But, you know.
Okay. So. Okay. The sun is the phoenix bird. Now, we're going to change it up a little bit. You know, it's the red and everything. Maybe make it like, no, it was a bird that was the color of the sun.
Right.
You know, its lights, its feathers gave off light.
Yeah.
Before the thing. And a silverish, icy serpent.
Okay. See, I was torn between cat and bear.
Okay.
It's not bad either.
Yeah, I was trying to pull from Chad as well as you and try to go through. Because an owl is like, that's perfect. You know, that's really perfect. That's right there.
Right.
All the night stuff. They do fight a lot.
Yeah. That's why secretary birds exist.
So,
murder snakes. So,
a phoenix, the sun goddess, a serpent for the moon goddess. Which kind of throws us off for Egypt because in Egypt, the moon god Khonshu is also the god of time.
Right.
And he had the falcon head.
Well, you say it kind of throws us off, but...
The falcon head.
Right. But when it comes to time as well, I mean, the cycle of the moon is tied into time, and the serpent eating its own tail, the Ouroboros, yeah,
would fit in there really well as you know. So it would be easy. Probably have that as maybe the Ouroboros turn to infinity, like an infinity symbol. The snake eating its own tail.
Yeah,
like an infinity symbol. What
if the Aurora Borealis is this snake going across the sky? Mona going across the sky.
Well, I think I definitely would go with that. Like night creatures fall under her domain,
and rabbits.
You know, because rabbits, things that come out right as the moon, it's coming up and going down.
Oh, it's so twisted too that the serpent god has rabbits as her followers that she eats.
Right.
It's like, no, I love them. They're wonderful.
Yeah, if you're playing 5e as you can make a really powerful Yon T
Yeah,
for to get over this, but there's definitely ways to put it out.
absolutely. I love it.
Okay, God of Storms, God of Knowledge and Wisdom,
And her sister wife. That's a good point. The Phoenix also eats rabbits.
yes,
Yeah. Go deliver this message. I'll see you when I come back, my queen. No, you won't.
okay, yes. Mona. Make sure
Also,
I spell
the
Mona.
moon is round, like a snake going around.
Yeah, it all fits. We're going in there.
Oh, and the aurora borealis is only all those colors because it's the reflection of the phoenix on the silver snake.
That's how it looks when it. Okay. Right on. I think it would be good.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, hold on. Back out. Let me get another one.
Bless you. We know they'll die, but it's worth it.
It's necessary, yeah.
Yeah. Also, I know there are more of you in chat. Some of you, I'm sure, are busy. Feel free to throw out suggestions too. Don't.
Yeah.
We're having a great time. You're not going to be interrupting us.
No. There's 100 different ways to see that. Just in the little conversations we've had, you can see how you can go with that.
Mm-hmm. And when I say we, I mean the three of us.
Yeah.
Which can easily be the 7 of us, 9 of us, whatever. That's true, Dark. That's true.
No, maybe 6, 7, 8 of us at most. It'll be fine. All right, so I'm going to close this. I'm going to I'm going to go Irish for the next god. And
okay.
Then I'm going to go, I think we need to pick Irish and Korean. Is the order we'll go.
Can we do a god of death here and it be a revenant where we just take Kukulkan and he's not dead and he will never die because his will is too strong and so he comes to collect the dead?
We could do that, but we need a god of war, and Irish mythology has the Morrigan.
That's also very true.
The Dullahan would be a great god of death.
Yeah.
Too, as well.
Yeah, the Morgan is a very good pick there as well.
Okay. The goddess of storms, a god of knowledge, goddess of the sun, goddess of the moon.
That's true. We could just take all 3 and mix them together. The Morgan, Kukulkan, and the Dullahan. And make them the god of war, which is also the god of death.
Okay, so here. This guy we're gonna have multiple. So it's the god of war and death, right?
Well, the Morgan's 3 anyway, right?
Right, fate, war, fate, and sovereignty.
Yeah, because it's the Morgan, the Dab, and the Mab, but they're all the Morgan together.
Right. So this will be over our goddess of war, death, and
fate.
Fate might be a good one. Yeah, we can throw that one in there. Let's do that. War, death, and fate. Because she always sees the end.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I'm kind of like, as far as either God or God of that, I don't think that this one should be like ambiguous.
Yeah, I agree.
Because death, it doesn't matter. Fate.
Yeah, I agree.
Death doesn't care.
Right.
At the end of the day, neither does war. Mm-hmm. When war comes on you, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And fate doesn't either. Whatever your fate is, that's the least important part of it as far as fate's concerned.
All right. So write down goddess.
Right.
War, fate, and death. That's a fighting death, different types.
I want personally
you get crazy with a Pantheon.
The 3 different aspects to all look different as well. Like often when we see the Morrigan in media, it's 3 ravens or 3 witches.
Yeah.
Like I want the one that is the part of death to be the Dullahan, right?
Right.
The severed head, or we could do a severed hand, or something like that, or even almost Juncture style, have the torso cutting clean, and it's just missing a chunk of its torso and full of black smoke in between.
That'd be kind of creepy. I'll see there. Okay. So we'll need a name. This god goddess could go that have a hole in their body.
Yeah.
Just don't die. Yes. So as this deity steps forward, I think you mean fate, right?
For that. I
realize that I'm running is close to be canceled more than once, but but like, you know, there's armor that she puts on, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
At the death, it's the funeral robes. And as for fate, I want to say almost like a wedding gown type thing.
Yeah.
Like with veils. Like you can't, it's just, you just kind of catch the outline of this deity behind veils. You know, these white veils going through. You can't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right. I'm looking up over here, making sure I'm right with my Irish. We could go with Boss, which is dead, but still, you are dead. You're gonna die, but you're not dead yet.
Wait, is that spelled?
BAS with a little umlaut over the A.
That's a good name. I'll go with that.
Like, yeah, you're gonna die, but you're not dead yet.
Yeah.
Bossing say. You're not dead in Bossing say.
Well, that's the full name. All our friends got us Boss, all right?
Boss.
Let's do that. All right. I'm going to jump over to Korean real quick.
Okay.
So we've got Death.
Make her like Melania. I think that'd be a really cool way to do it, because Melania has, like, at the start of the fight, she's in full armor, but she's got like an arm hanging because she's, you know, already been in a terrible fight. And then halfway through the fight, when it's like, no, you're gonna die, she sheds most of her armor and is just fighting mostly naked. Of like, look, but there's parts of her missing, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's a really good way to envision her for sure. I am Judy.
And I think there's in the Neverending Story, the first test, you know, we got to jump through the lasers and everything. That one, that sounds scary, but it's when the scientific speciality guy, my scientist, talks about the second gate. Oh no, that's the worst one.
Yeah.
You know, people see, and the biggest fear is they see who they really are, and most people run away screaming.
Yeah.
Which I believe I would. That gate scares me. Yeah. But I think that would be something like this for this deity.
For sure.
The deity of war, death, and fate. Mm-hmm. That, you know, you can, when you stand, this deity honestly is, you can't tell, you know, in some pictures very feminine, in some pictures very masculine, but always the traits are always kind of maybe, right? And once you stand before, because she knows, you know, she knows your death. Mm-hmm. She knows your fate. Right. Everything gone through. That when you stand before her, you're going to see exactly who you are. There's no BS with this deity, right?
Yeah.
If anybody stands before her, you have to stand in truth.
I want to play a Revenant champion / paladin of this god so bad. I'm like, look, you've been given life again to do this task, and when your task is complete, your life is gone.
You will fulfill my duty.
Yeah, you can't die. You still feel pain.
So I'm gonna get real weird here. We're gonna jump over to Korean. We're gonna pull something in Korean. But here's my idea. I like what we did with that, to have this deity that covers 3 war, death, fate.
Yeah.
They kind of fall under. We have, you know, we're gonna get so I want to put one more here, at least one more here for tonight for sure.
Okay.
So we need, and I'm thinking of playing it off.
Yeah, it's very nice. Well, good get from Fate Grand Order for sure.
Nice.
You sent me a picture.
That we have this deity of war, debt, and fate. So we're finding something in here in Korean to build are their twin.
Okay.
So that might cover
Peace.
We could do agriculture, fertility,
Right.
or like fertility for death.
Yeah.
Peace might be a good one. It is the opposite of war.
Right.
You know.
And then choice. As compared to fate, maybe?
Peace, fertility.
Because that is life, fertility.
What about doing something really kind of like this one is a deity of this moment.
Okay. The now.
The now, yeah.
Yeah.
The now. I'm going to give you a couple. I like this.
Opposite of war is
creation. That's what I said.
Yeah.
It's probably cover fertility, right?
Life.
That's that. And as we're going through this when we get this one named and set up, look, I can't marry into your family. I don't have to speak your language. All right, that's what I'm saying. Rules is rules. I can visit. That's about it. I know how this goes. So rude. And yeah, I probably will again. I know it will. I'm sorry, Will. It's going to be terrible here in a minute. We got a lot of cool stuff out of Korea. Of course, we got the Guishin, ghost spirits, right? I kind of... So sorry, Will. Chunjuang?
Okay.
The ruler of the heavy realm. In Korean, the Chunjuang is the ruler of the heavy realm, depicted as an elderly man with a long white beard and kind disposition.
Okay.
Maybe start there. Or we pick something that's just a creature, like the Simjuku.
Yeah.
It's a creature with the body of a bird, the tail of a fish, and the antlers of a deer.
Hear me out.
And it does say symbolizing good fortune and longevity. That kind of has the...
Okay. I was going to say, old man also is a dragon, Bahamut style.
Okay. For that.
Because I don't remember the name of it, but I believe Korea had a dragon that was over rain? Right? Over water cycles?
Yeah, Yong.
Yong.
You know, legendary dragon with the build. That's not the Kirikai. We got to wheel a microphone for I'm trying to speak any of these Korean words.
Yeah. I cannot
That's actually
wait for
him.
us to get to the Kira Cry at this point. Like it's been built up so much for you. No, but we could also easily go with the body of a bird, tail of a fish, antlers of a deer.
Okay.
And it could take the aspect of all three, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's a bird, sometimes it's a fish, sometimes it's a deer.
This is the other one's twin, okay?
We could combine that with Oberyn, the Lord of the Forest, who is a stag, and make it a stag or deer either way.
Right.
And have like when it's a bird, it's in charge of the air. When it's a fish, it's in charge of the water. When it's a deer, it's in charge of the land.
Right. Interesting.
Because all three of those would tie in with creation, with fertility, with the living in the moment, not worrying about tomorrow as much.
Okay. And while we're here, I want to pull something else from the Korean just so I can have another excuse to try to this poor attempt to say one of these words.
Okay.
You listening, Will? I hope you are. The Haenyeo. Good timing. Haenyeo. And Haenyeo. I don't know, Bo. I'm so sorry.
He's gonna do it again.
It's gonna hurt him. I understand. We talk about the female divers, right? Over there, exceptional skills. Like she has, like this, the deity of peace, fertility, and the now, like they have divers. I'm just saying.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, excuse me. Why is them? like the hiccups all of a sudden.
I love the idea that if you ever get to the level where you're fighting these things, it is all three at once.
Yeah.
It is the great bird. It is the great fish. Oh, take it to the extent, right? Instead of great bird, it's like a rock.
Right.
Rock eagle. And then instead of great fish, it is a whale.
Yeah.
And then instead of great deer, it is a moose.
Emotional damage.
Yeah. See? Take it out there. See how it goes. Okay. Let me see.
We need a name for it, right?
Yeah, we need a name for this deity. The one over peace, serpent, the one that's kind of a chimera of the three different animals.
Yeah.
That we're doing with that. It's Korean. That we probably should call it. Its family name will be Park.
Sure. Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's supposed to be about like peace and life. So what about? I'm trying not to just use a Korean word because we're trying to pull from it as well. But
What about something like aura?
see, I thought about aura.
Yeah.
What is the Korean word for aura?
I don't know. That'll probably work out. The only person that ruins the game for us will.
That's true. Yongji? Yongji?
Yeah, I'm sure that's not it, but I'm gonna write it down. Yongji. Okay.
Yongji.
Yeah.
Thanks, Google.
Yeah. Yongji.
That might be the first one we pronounced right. Did we get it right, Will?
I don't trust Google that much. What translates and stuff, and what people actually say when they're talking in their language. See?
I tried.
Okay. I need.
I'll
Not
get
doing
time
too
for another
bad.
one.
Okay, so we got storms. We got the god of knowledge and wisdom. The sun.
Here.
Come on, Trey.
I tried.
The sun goddess, the moon goddess, who are sisters. Then the goddess of war, death, and fate, who's twins with the goddess of peace, fertility, and now.
Just be glad I didn't recommend Rhiannon.
Rhiannon. Really?
It's the first thing that came to mind, and I was like, no, that's too on the nose. We got to move on.
All right. And now we need the big creator god. We're going to call him Fleetwood Mac. You know what? I say that the main force, I think, Ngai.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's from guy. The one who gathered them all together and formed. Yeah.
Yeah.
She rings like a bell of the night. Look, Rhiannon's an actual Irish, like Celtic figure. Okay.
Sure.
She got turned into a deer, and a man fell in love with her, and then she got turned back into a woman.
Yep.
Not as a deer. No.
Would you love to love her? Maybe. I don't know.
No, I think Ngai's a good call. Do we want to mix Ngai with anything, or just?
I think we change it. I think for this little pantheon, this is the creator god. And there's lots of, like through mythology, like we've got quite a few different creator gods, creation things going through some of the mythology we talked about, right?
Yeah.
And some of them give kind of a detailed description. You kind of get an idea of what, the person looks like, whatever.
Right.
And some of them don't. Look, honestly, I'm just impressed that the Irish guy caught the deer.
He married her and then he cheated on her, and so then Rhiannon ran off and got turned back into a deer and lived in the forest for the rest of her life.
Okay. Well, as much as he loved the deer, she was no sheep.
He got murdered, by the way. Could be. It could be.
Okay. So, give me a name for the creator. When they come up with a name for the creator, the main god, that's just like, there's no form to this force.
Okay.
It just is. 7 might work. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
We can't go with my first thought, because my first thought was a Luvatar.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah, a little too on the
straight
nose,
up.
right?
Eru Iluvatar. That is so great.
It's a great name.
Yeah, it is good. Great name.
What about Makar?
Okay, that's over. But
'Cause
Makar.
it's just Maker, but
right.
if you say
that
if
works.
you say it with a flair, people won't recognize that's what you said.
Yeah. I think that Makar.
Yeah, you gotta
MAK.
use the 2Ks.
AR.
Dark's right. You gotta use the 2Ks. Makar. Yeah, and you say it like somebody stole your car. Makar.
Right. I was thinking along. You brought up a Iluvatar, Eru Iluvatar, and I was like, ain't no Lumen, Element.
Yeah,
I don't
that wouldn't
know.
be bad
That
either,
wouldn't
yeah.
be bad either. But we're gonna go with Creator.
Look, chat, you can spend all day coming up with a great name, and it doesn't matter because your players are going to butcher it anyway the first time they hear it.
Right.
I was so proud of that dragon's name.
Look, I don't know. It happens sometimes. Sometimes you make it so ridiculous that they players actually end up having to call it something else. Shameless.
That's or they'll just forget it. That's
Right.
true. I ran a campaign where I had a dragon named Jinarog Yakul,
Yeah.
and immediately the players went, "I want to talk to Generator."
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Don't ever tell them that the dragon came from Nantucket. Okay.
Makar. Yucky. That's fair.
All right. So we're gonna have some very General Yucky. We're gonna have some very ambiguous stuff in our creation story for this world. As Makar
Yeah.
found the mountain in the void, so to speak.
Raised it.
Makar raised the mountain.
And that makes it sound like he lifted, but no, he raised it.
Yeah, he raised the mountain and defined the parts of the mountain, right? And but the mountain was too big for him. I know he's a big creator guy there. The mountain was too big for him. So decided they'd have his children send out to do different things. Yes. No, I'm gonna change it up a little bit.
Okay.
So at first he created he created people on the mountain before they were sent to this plane, right? And as a creative force created people, as soon as he made the first 2 people, he also gave birth to the twins,
Okay.
Bas and Yongji. And these are the twins, because as soon as people came in to the world, there was fate.
Yeah.
As soon as people came into the world, there was death.
Yeah.
And there was war. Part of their nature. But also part of their nature was, peace, fertility, family reproduce, things like that. And also the idea of the present and enjoying the moment now. The real basic beginning to that.
Yeah.
Those two are the oldest. Okay.
He saw that people needed light.
So on the mountain, yes, we got to get to the light. So on the mountain. Then, when he knew that the creatures that he created, not only were capable, he saw the beings, the deities that came from the very essence of creation, Bas and Yangji, came from the very essence of creation, the power that not were in these two beings that he made that existed, but because they're in the universe, the strange little power that seems to come with morality, or mortality, not morality, excuse me, mortality. What if Makar raised the mountain? He holds the mountain as well, so he has to have others go do.
Yeah,
he put mountains on theirs. Maybe he sends out the creatures and they go to Earth.
Right.
Maybe the Earth's flat in this world. I don't know. Could be, but when he sends them into the world, he sends another creation. The next oldest, Grond, the god of will of. Yeah, turn. There is a season, turn. So I got. Makar wanted to provide the people with knowledge, wisdom, right?
Yeah.
And this is where Grond comes for,
Yeah.
Brother to the twins, the two twins we have, younger than both of them now.
Well, and what if Makar, you mentioned holding up the mountain, what if he's in the heart of the mountain and there was light in the heart of the mountain? So he doesn't even realize at first that there's not light beyond the mountain.
Okay.
And it's only when Grond wisdom comes into the world that realization of dark and fear and things like that. Also
exactly. It's gotta be the good with the bad.
Yeah.
Right. The wisdom to know what you can eat.
Right.
The fear to know what snakes are poisonous type thing. Right.
And the folly to do it anyway.
But the two twins, Bas and Yongji, were always at odds, always fighting, and basically always throwing their powers at each other, right? And in a fit of throwing fountain as Makar tries to break them up, they give birth, and because they are so fighting with each other, there's not like, okay, that one gets that kid, that's that kid. At the end of it, they're just like, I don't know, these two kids came out, and this will be the son of the moon. So you have the golden bird in the mountain now, with these other aspects, as well as the serpent. From their battle, and Makar trying to break them up.
Right.
You have you end up with that creative. There was such creative force in there that this golden bird was created, and the serpent.
Right. Then that flows pretty easily into the golden bird.
Yes.
Was alone in the sky, and
yes.
Maybe instead of flying to find God, she flew to try and find more birds.
That comes later at the end of the story. Okay. So you can change it. We can change it a little bit. Like that was a crazy word. Like, they didn't know which child came from which.
Right.
But both Bas and Yanji stopped their conflict for Sparna, who's now born, and Mona.
Right.
Sparna and Mona.
Who now carry on the conflict.
Right. Yes, and it is. Well, Makar realizes that these can't stay here with us.
Right.
We need to send them out. Of course, Goldenberg goes out. He's just created a couple people.
Right.
They're over there working with Flint.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while they want to bump uglies and stuff, but they're really just trying to figure stuff out.
Right.
So he sends the bird out to the plane where he sent the people to watch the skies, and he sends a snake out to watch the ground,
yeah.
right? And the bird finds no other birds there.
Yeah.
The people try to kill it.
Yeah.
So she flies away, flies up, and becomes the sun.
I love that phrase. But the idea that just popped in my head of the phrase, somebody telling the story, yet she was alone in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Just something about that phrase has so much power.
Right. There you go. All right. So she, in her loneliness, she flies as high as she can, dies, becomes the sun. The world goes dark, actually.
Right.
When she dies, it goes dark. And her sibling, the serpent, right, who they are opposed to each other.
Right.
But they are also siblings.
Right.
Right. Comes from the parent. Climbs a mountain, going in circles.
Yeah.
Trying to find, and it turns out that, the snake got on one side of the mountain, the birds on the other, and they're constantly looking for each other around the thing. But each day she dies. When the snake finally gets around to where she would be, she's dead.
Yeah.
Right. And she's dead and fallen. The snake can't find her. We'll go through the sky looking for her,
That adds some great tragedy, but also a good reason for there to be conflict of, I looked for you all day. You died. I grieved for you, and then you got up again.
Yeah.
And now you expect me to hunt for you again? And yet she always does. Or yet they always
can't help it. But do it. Yeah, and each one, that sets up for in the world where your players are going to be. Okay, now you've got two cults.
Yeah.
Right. One that blames the night, loves the day. One that blames the day.
Yeah.
But loves the night.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right, as the serpent was hiding on that, and they did. The serpent saw them attack. That's what started. The serpent hates humans now.
Yeah.
Because they chased off her sister and started this eternal hunt.
Yeah.
Even though, and her sister is like, no, that they're the reason I'm here.
Right. If not for them, I wouldn't be what I am today.
Right. Once again, Makar, and another story, so to speak, right? A tempest comes upon the plane of Earth, or whatever we call it, the kingdom that is where the two people were, and it is wild, and there's no controlling it, and so Makar gives more of himself, and gives birth, so to speak, to Alba, the goddess of storms, and she. Let's say in the world that you're going to play in, everybody knows the world is round. They've got good maps. They understand all that. Alba, maybe there's one storm that circles the planet, gets stronger going over the oceans, lets out on land, gets stronger going, just keeps going strong. And, when you get, when you're going to get visited by the goddess of storms, Alba, and what she brings, her musical ensemble. And, there's not a band when her band's going, big thunder, there's not a show on earth that can touch anything that she does.
I think we take that and we move it just a step further by by being inspired by Brandon Sanderson, where
I'm thinking about going I think you play that out the full, almost like the Magneto, Professor X. I don't know if somebody 100%. You get that reference. What those two, they are. They're basically brothers, best friends, that have so much in common, such deep love. But there's one thing,
that divides them.
It's like the bird, like I'm saying this, the bird saying no, we must provide for them. We must. We must give them things to help them. And it's like no. And in fact, if you go outside and there's a new moon, Mona has decided not to look for her sister that night. And scary things happen on a new moon. Yeah. Because there's no moon in the sky.
Right. You mentioned the storm that goes across the world. Yeah. In Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson, he has the Everstorm, which is just that. It's a storm that in parts of the world it's stronger, in parts of the world it's weaker. And when that storm comes near, people that use the power that comes from that storm grow stronger.
Yeah.
And so I think we could use that here and have, like, the clerics that follow Tempest or Tempest Barbarians or anything like that.
Right.
They grow stronger when the storm is near.
Yeah.
They
Like in
plus one or
Pathfinder, it'd be
something.
really easy. It's like, hey, the great storm is coming. This is your god is showing up. You're for the next so and so. You have +3 circumstance bonus.
Yeah.
That covers a lot of things.
Yeah.
We're making Avatar cool. Right on. I asked the group the other night, and we couldn't come up to a good consensus, but kind of wondering what would be more disturbing and dangerous than a flatulent airbender.
Yeah.
That's a scary thought to me. I don't know how you feel about it. It's not something I'd want to deal with.
My counter argument was that the more dangerous thing would be the firebender with sinus problems.
Probably.
Yeah,
You do
that's
have
an easy firebender.
that's
Yeah.
an easy firebender. That was
Yeah.
brought up, and it has actually shown the problems that you can have.
Yeah.
If you get those two together, you're dealing in chemical warfare the likes of nobody's ever seen.
Oh, it'd be great. Also, Dark has asked about the lights on the ceiling.
Actually, I got this little crappy allergies to suck. It's like a Halloween not strobe light. It'd be flashing back there, and he'd be having a seizure or
Yeah, I'd
something.
be dead.
Yeah, Dark would probably rather with you.
Yeah.
Lose both of y'all in one night. But it's just like got this weird little crystal shape. Like that's just a jerk.
Oh, poor guy.
Like waiting for people to get to sleep and be like,
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought it was an earthbender in his sleep. His snoring was causing the bending.
oh, that'd be awful too. But yeah,
Wake up in the earth.
it's a cheap Halloween night a light that I stuck on the wall to give us some kind, something interesting behind me. Do that. All right.
I think we've got a pretty good start. I don't know about chat. Personally, I'd like to see us do another one of these next week and try to round out the Pantheon.
Okay. So what, as we talk about it,
Oh, no. Poor
to Ben
guy.
while he's asleep and nobody can get to sleep
Poor
because
guy.
everything's shaking.
Trans Am
Trans Am
Red. Yeah, yeah.
Oh gosh, why does that work for both you Gundam freaks and car fanatics?
Yeah, it really does.
Like there's a big group of yes, that's a good one. I too support that.
Yeah, poor guy.
Oh yeah, really easy. Do that. Okay. So I'm gonna stick with this really rough outline that we've got. I'm keeping this page here for our kind of creation store, like stuff that happened at the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna add some more. We'll add some more in. Do we only have one more Thursday?
Yeah, one more Thursday for the year.
Okay. That's just rough.
That's just cruel in my mind.
Swish.
But they like ice.
Right.
So they'll bend ice.
Yeah. There's I think it's tough. They do it. It's done for every character. I'm pretty sure in there, but that says that I think
Trey.
of you. There's a scene like Toph standing there and got her powers going off, right?
Yeah.
Eyes glowing, going off. It's great. It's a cool looking scene, right? That's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking of. I know she's not a waterbender, whatever. But just thinking of that one. So what other? So I say, yeah, we could go with this Pantheon right here, or really not add anything else. Everything could be a little lower.
Right.
We could finish it off and have some more gods that are younger than these ones.
Yeah.
This
She is.
next best thing. Okay, that's fair.
I'm thinking, because we still don't have an underworld. We still don't have anybody over the sky itself. We have like components of the sky.
Okay.
We don't have anybody over the sky. We don't have anybody over specifically water yet.
Okay. So Here's what I'm gonna put down. Earth. We're gonna go straight Avatar here, right?
Okay,
Earth,
yeah.
air, fire, water.
Yeah. The basic elements all still need to be covered for sure.
Right.
Oh, I think that's a good idea for us to start on for next week. I think we take that and go, but there was a god that was in charge of the sky. And either that god's dead or that god was shattered.
There's stories of it, but there's nothing to where the god is dead, and there is actually in this world a cult of the dead god.
Right.
And they're like, no, he shall return. Okay.
Maybe they just left to go to the greater sky.
Maybe so. It leads into so many other things. The song, and that's kind of what we were doing. Who it was, not even there's not a name. There's not a name they can give it. I don't know. We'll get back into this.
I'm not saying we go like super deep, small level, but I would like to at least have one. Like, for instance, in all the mythologies we've covered, there's a god of, this god is in charge of divorce. Or this god is in charge of mirrors. I want one just like little minor god over something mundane.
Okay. We'll work on like major elements of the world. Try to get that finished. Because your minor guys like that, you could get into the hundreds easily.
Oh, yeah. And
we can go through all the,
a narwhal, goddess of the sea. There's a lot of options for
that would be,
gods.
Well, like thinking about this thing, and it's like Sebna, goddess of the sea.
Yeah.
That's, her fingernails, or her cut off fingers becoming the creature of the sea. I'll do that.
I'm just saying, imagine we put all this work and we've got all this cool stuff, and then we have the core rule book written out for the Pantheon and everything, and then at the bottom, God of Knives.
Yeah.
Just put in there with all the others like he's just as important.
Well, instead, put your... Yes, yeah. Let's do that. Just important, but so many of them. They have a small part.
Makuve, God of
Faces. Will. Thank you. Well, here's still got the Kikuyu pulled out right, and got the Yambara, the deity of rainbows and promise.
Yeah. Me.
Okay.
Just saying, I'm wearing the Gian shirt. We could have Makuve, God of Vases. Make sure this vase gets to Lady Cassilia.
Yeah. The god of decoration.
Yeah.
It's like the well, even if you do that, you can take that. You can be silly with it, right?
Yeah.
You have the god of decoration, or it's like very serious. Like people in this world, they get a priest to come, to feng shui their house, basically.
Oh, that'd be so much fun. I like Maui. We're gonna get there, Dark. That's next week.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Next week.
But that's that's the spark that that kind of I want to get from mythology is when it comes to your tabletop game, you've got such a basic thing. There's so much stuff you can mix up in there that's not going to change. It's just going to change the flavor of it.
Yeah,
and it'll feel like a new game. Yeah.
Pathfinder has a god that was just a drunk guy that found a super powerful magical artifact, and when he touched it while he was drunk, it turned him into a god, and now he's the god of drunkenness.
Yeah.
And it's like that's just a fun little thing to have in that world. Of technically you could be a cleric of the god of drunkenness, and you just drink all the time. I'm not saying we gotta do that. I'm just saying, imagine the feng shui guy.
Yeah.
It's like, no, yeah, I'm a champion of this.
We don't need a Bacchus in this universe, is what you're saying.
If I enter a room and it's not correct, I have to fix it.
Right. Can you move your bed over?
Just a little bit more.
There.
Good. Awesome.
Answer there. But and if you go to that role, there's a lot of stuff you can have. You can have a god of refuse.
Yeah.
And out of a trash pile, you may have this figure come up and give you wisdom,
Yeah.
Just covered in trash.
There was a really fun book, bless you.
Thank you.
That was written on a goblin. It was a D&D book, and it was written on a goblin that had broken free. He was a minion, and he'd broken free of the evil overlord that he was serving, and he was trying to become an adventurer.
Yeah.
And he got rescued by a god when he almost died.
Okay.
And the god was like, look, I need you to stay alive because I'm the god of minions, and you're the only one praying to me.
That would be great.
And it was just this really fun little thing of like, yeah, the god of minions.
Yeah.
He's barely hanging on. He almost doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
But he's still barely, doing it.
Well, you can also go the... you can also go the way, let's say, I need to think of something very mundane, but okay. We'll stick with the trash pile guide. There's a person that almost like OCD can't help themselves. If somebody drops something, they've got to go pick it up and put it in. And there's a god that nobody's worshiping, but this act. You want us to make Mothra? We'll put Mothra in there. Mothra is what the goddess of storms rides.
Yeah.
And that's how the winds are formed.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's a butterfly, not a moth.
Yeah.
So.
You're talking about like a god of putting carts back in the parking lot.
It's maybe like
on your way.
Sort of like that. Like it would be. Is that groove? Yes. But it'd be like, maybe it's this god he was the god of order. But people just kind of take order for granted. You're supposed to clean up and things like that. But with the heart that this person's doing it is, I'm not doing this because it's right there. I actually want people to see this and think this is a nice play. There's some kind of heart behind it in some weird way. This, anxious and neurotic would be great. This bag lady, let's say, this is an act of worship each time.
Right.
And so this bag lady has this direct connection with this god.
Yeah.
That nobody else bothers to talk to anymore.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's lots of stuff we can do with it. Like I said, the stuff that we came up with tonight, and I'm sure there's people that were listening and like had ideas.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's a lot, to be typing down, trying to think of.
There's so many ways that you could play it. I'm excited. I want to do this again next week. I'm excited.
Okay, so we've got a strong starting Pantheon.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna expand from that. I'm gonna try to organize it a little bit so I can give a better little rundown of it. We'll start with our nice little first story.
Yeah. Tomorrow we're gonna be doing Armored Core, not Vampire Survivors. Armored Core PvP. Dark is trying to get us to keep talking about it so we don't stop.
Hey, it gets exciting. It's you're creating a whole. There's a video with J.R. Tolkien.
I know and tricks, magic woman.
The interviewer asked him, because he's asking a lot of questions about the world, and he could exactly. Just so I could go down reading a name and the outline, kind of like I've done, and keep switching through. And we could probably go through and have a Pantheon for 3 or 4 different worlds that we're going to run, right?
Yeah.
But you were talking, and he was talking about, like he has dwarves in the story that has a problem. There was problems he had filling, like Galadriel, like where she came from, her full story. Never quite gets around to, because what he came up with is like, no, it's better to be a mystery. Yeah. Dwarves were kind of the same way through that. But the interviewer asked him, so at the end of it, so why? And he's asking about, creating languages, doing that. He's gone through all this stuff about, is the ring an allegory for the atomic bomb? Like, no. Is this an allegory to the Bible? No, it's not. Yeah. I like the Bible, but it's not in this story. Aside from the fact you realize how many myths I ripped off to make this world? We're going through that, and his answer was like, it was basically because it's fun to create.
Yeah.
And I have all this knowledge. And that was his point.
Yeah.
This great scholar. And that was also his point. This great scholar. The reason why he wrote The Hobbit that time, and these are his words. The reason for The Lord of the Rings after he wrote The Hobbit is now he wanted to try his hand at a long, epic story that could keep the average reader entertained and gone through.
Yeah. Well, like the Redwall books are like really well thought of for kids reading and stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of people take them super seriously, and they're great books. I love them. It's one of my favorite series. Brian Jake started writing those as stories he could read to blind children.
Yeah.
That he went to go see every weekend. It wasn't like, hey, he sat down to tell a story of good and evil. No, he wrote stuff that he thought kids would think was cool.
Yeah, we've got good stuff from that. The Princess Bride was written because the author asked his two daughters, "Hey, what story would you like to hear?" One daughter said princesses, and the other daughter said brides.
Yeah.
So he wrote a story about the Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Going through. It does, and there is allegorical art.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to take anything away from that. It's definitely there. There's times in history where a jester or a stand-up comedian will tell you more truth than any leader in the government would.
Right.
Going through that.
We've been watching through Gundam, when Lala Soon shows up, and then you see the swans in the same lake later.
Yeah.
After her, spoilers.
Yeah.
That's obviously an allegory to her. That's reference to her, and it's supposed to make you see, she has now left this mortal plane. She's flying free in new type space magic.
I agree.
But then when you see pigeons in the next scene, that's not to anything. That's just there's pigeons there.
Right.
It's not, and I've seen people go like, well, see, these pigeons here represent Char and Amuro missing her. It's just two pigeons, man.
Yeah. It can add up. There is imagery and symbolism and stuff like that, but you can get way too dogmatic and tracing it down and kind of miss the point of, hey, like I said, there is stuff in Tolkien's world that pull from elements of our world and stuff to go through, but at the end of the day, it was because he made those languages, he made that world. He wanted to. It's fun creating that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's all I got. I really appreciate y'all hanging out.
Yeah.
And throwing up your ideas. Mm-hmm. And putting up with us through this. We're going to keep building on this world next week a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's all I got for tonight.
Okay. Tomorrow we're going to be doing Armored Core multiplayer. 2 hours of me getting trashed. It's going to be a good time. Monday, we're not going to be doing Emo Mondays because it'll be Christmas. So we're going to take Christmas off.
We gotta finish it first.
Tuesday, we'll have a regular podcast. Wednesday, we'll have more Relicta.
Yeah.
And then Thursday, we'll talk this awesome Pantheon that we're making.
Okay, this is a new setting. Now I have a setting that I like to run. It's my own world. The players in it have helped build a lot of the history to it, and a lot of the old stories that are told in this world now are stories that were that happened in the first campaign. For the rest of it, we're gonna finish it. An SCP Saturday stream. We'll have a mukbang and finish SPC.
But I don't know what we're doing next Friday yet. I want to say, we'll do the Vampire Survivor stuff we didn't do this weekend. But I also kind of want to do like a special end of year Friday stream, maybe going back over some of the games that we played Fridays and talking about them, maybe playing a little bit of each one. Yeah. Alternatively, I might just wind up playing Zelda. So we'll see.
Okay.
It'll
probably end up just being like a pizza mukbang though. So
right. kind of also want to do a Pokemon stream. There's a lot of different options. Well,
Or
you know,
a Tex-Mex mukbang. That would be
messy.
That's a beautiful meeting of cultures right there.
Yeah.
Mukbang dancing.
I don't want to. Some of them would hurt to eat.
Yeah, that's true. We have to be very careful about the foods you can eat.
One of them is a hard to destroy reptile. Mm-hmm. I don't imagine he's easy to eat either.
Right. I don't know. Maybe just, you never have to, if you can slice it off, maybe you never have to worry about it again.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he tastes like chicken. I don't know.
I don't know.
But some of them are people, though, so let's just not.
That's fair. Fine.
Until next time, I've been Trey.
I've been Rungren.
This has been the Full Spectrum TTRPG podcast. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that Mythology has to offer.
Love y'all. Good night.